Okay guys, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to do these 9 problems nice and quickly, but just I would go through, you can check your answers with my answers or you can listen to my explanation, it's totally up to you. So feel free to fast forward this if I'm going too slowly or slow me down if I'm going too quickly. Alright, so for the first one, since this is an addition problem, what you're going to do is you're going to first add up the numbers, so I'm doing that right now. And I got 70.82. Now, since I'm adding my answer, which I'm going to write the unrounded version right now, so 70.82. Okay. Since I'm adding, this needs to be based off of decimal places. So 45.690 has 1, 2, 3 decimal places. This has 1, 2. 2.12 has 1, 2. So my final answer needs 2. So actually, funny enough, this is the correct answer, so I don't actually have to round it. Okay. For the next one, since I'm multiplying, I need to base it off of the number of significant figures. So 34.1 has 1, 2, 3, and the reason why it has 3, remember, since the decimal place is present, I need to count from left to right, so I start with a 3, because I can start with any number other than 0. So that's 1, 2, 3 sig figs. For 10.2, I've got 1, 2, 3 sig figs, and for 12, I've got 1, 2. And so my answer unrounded, so I write in 3, 3, 2 just to keep my head straight. And then I write 4,173.84, and that's unrounded. Now, since I want 2 sig figs, this is going to round to 4 and 1. Because, actually not 1, sorry, my bad, 4 and 2, because I'm just going to include these 2 numbers. And so as a result, that's going to be 42. Now, remember my pet peeve, a lot of people will just leave this as 42. Please don't. You need to include 2 zeros afterwards to hold the place. Because otherwise what you're doing is you're taking 4,173 and saying that 42 is that number rounded, which makes no sense. It needs to be in the thousands, and so now it is. Okay? For the next one, 15.06, now I'm adding, so again, you guys need to be careful. You need to make sure you're basing it off of decimal places. So 15.06 has 2 decimal places, 1, 2. 12 has none, no decimal places, and 9.2 has 1. And so as a result, my final answer, which is 36.26, shouldn't have any decimal places. And so I'm going to round this, and it therefore becomes just 36. Okay. For the next one, I'm multiplying, so it's going to be based off of significant figures. So when I do that, 2.1 has 2 sig figs. 12.5 has 3. This has 3, and so when I actually do the multiplication, 12.5 times 8.91, I get 233.8875. 0.8875. Now, since I only want 2 significant figures, I need to round this. So I need to round this 3 so that I only have 1, 2 sig figs. So it's going to be 2. And then if you look at the number behind the 3, that's less than 5, and so this is going to stay a 3. I'm not going to round it up. And then remember to put a 0 to hold the place, so you're not taking 233 and making it 23. Okay? So the next one, since I'm adding, it's going to be based on decimal places. So 3.21 has 2 decimal places. 12.1 has 1. This has 2 decimal places. And so my answer, which I end up getting is 24.33, needs to have 1 decimal place. So I'm going to round this, and it will be just 24.3. Okay. For the next one, I'm multiplying 2 times 16, which is, I hope you know, is 32. Since I'm multiplying, it's based on sig figs, so 2 has 1 sig fig, 16 has 2, and so as a result, my final answer needs 1 significant figure. So what I need to do, I need to decide how the 3 is going to round, so I'm just going to keep the 3. Since the number after the 3 is less than 5, it'll stay as a 3. And then remember to add a 0 to hold your place. So that's 30. Awesome. Next one. We're just flying through these. 12 plus 2.1 plus 4.4 gives you 18.5. Okay, now, since I'm adding, I need to go based on decimal places. And remember, adding and subtracting decimal places, multiplying and dividing is Sig Figs. So here, I have 0 decimal places. Here, I've got 1, just this one right there. Here, I've got 1, and so my final answer needs 0 decimal places. So as a result, I'm going to round this number. And since the number after the 8 is 5, which is 5 or larger, the 8 is going to round up to a 9, so it will just become 19. Okay. Next problem, 0.01 times 12, and I get 0.12. Now, since I multiplied, I'm going to base this off of Sig Figs. So, as a nice quick review, 0.01, since the decimal place is present, I'm going to be moving from left to right. I can't start counting on a 0, so that 0 is not significant. And so as a result, I only have 1 Sig Fig here, just that one. For 12, I've got 2 Sig Figs, so my final answer needs only 1. So again, you're going to round right there. Since this number is less than 5, it just stays as 0.1. Okay. For the last one, I'm adding, so 15 plus 0.01 plus 2.3, and I get 17.31. 17.31. Okay, since I'm adding, it's based on decimal places, so 15 has 0, this has 2, that has 1, and so as a result, this answer is going to have 0. So my final answer is just 17. And that's it, guys.